Humans have been walking and riding horses for thousands of years. If you wanted to go fast, you got a really good horse and prayed it didn't die. Top speed? Maybe 30 miles an hour for like 5 minutes before the horse quits on you. Then the Liverpool and Manchester Railway opens, and suddenly, regular people, not soldiers, not royalty, just regular people, are sitting in a box made of metal and wood, and they're going 35 miles per hour, and nobody knows what to do with that information. Doctors lost their minds. They genuinely thought human bodies couldn't handle it. They're writing papers like, speeds exceeding 20 miles per hour will cause the brain to liquefy. They invented a disease called railway madness, where passengers would get off trains and just forget things, hallucinate, pass out. But here's the thing that actually did happen when people got on trains. Their vision broke. You'd look out the window and anything close to the tracks, fence posts, flowers, people waving, just turned into these streaky blurs of color. Basically, the train forced your brain to stop looking at details and start seeing the world like a moving painting. Wide, soft-edged, kinda dreamy. Which, if you've ever looked at a Monet up close, you're like, oh. Because that blurry, smudgy, everything's kinda melting together look, that's train vision. Cut to the 1870s. Claude Monet is living in Argenteuil, this cute little town on the river about 15 minutes outside Paris. And here's where it gets good. Monet commuted by train. Every day. Him, Renoir, Pissarro, all these painters would hop on the train at Gare Saint-Lazare, ride out to Argenteuil or wherever, set up their easels outside, and just paint. Before trains, you couldn't do that. You couldn't casually day trip to go paint a sunset by the river. If you wanted to paint landscapes, you either lived in the countryside full-time, or you painted from sketches in your studio, like a normal person. Trains gave Impressionists mobility. But here's the actually insane part. They also gave them a completely new way of seeing. Because if you're spending 2 hours a day on a train staring out the window, watching the world turn into smears and streaks, and then you set up your easel by a river to paint some water lilies, your brain doesn't just turn that off. You start painting the world the way it looks at 50 miles per hour. Short, choppy brush strokes. Everything slightly out of focus, slightly moving, even when it's sitting still. That's the Impressionist technique, and it's literally just how things look from a train. Now look, trains weren't the only reason Impressionists painted fast and loose. They were already chasing light, trying to capture moments before the sun moved. But trains gave them the mobility to get out there, and maybe, just maybe, trained their eyes to see blur as something beautiful instead of broken. So in 1877, Monet decides to go full circle. He rents a studio right next to Gare Saint-Lazare, the train station he's been commuting through for years, walks inside, and just starts painting it. Not in some grand, behold the glory of industrial progress way. He paints it the way it feels. The steam is purple and pink and blue. The locomotives are half dissolved into smoke. The whole station looks like it's evaporating in real time. He makes 12 paintings of this one train station. Different times of day, different angles, different lighting. The steam keeps moving. The light keeps shifting. It's the same place, but it never looks the same twice. And when he shows 7 of them at the 3rd Impressionist exhibition, people absolutely lose it. Some critics hate it, some love it, but everyone agrees this is new. This is what modern life actually looks like. One critic at the time said, "The poetry of the 19th century is steam." Monet took the thing that was literally making people sick, speed, smoke, blur, constant motion, and turned it into the defining visual language of an entire art movement. Renoir painted alongside Monet in Argenteuil in the summer of 1874. His Bal du Moulin de la Galette from 1876? Dancers spinning into blurs of color, faces melting into each other, pure motion frozen mid-swirl. That's train vision applied to people. Pissarro painted railway bridges cutting through the countryside at Pontoise. He even painted one of the first trains in Impressionist art back in 1871 in London, years before Monet's Gare Saint-Lazare series. Then there's Caillebotte. In 1876, he painted Le Pont de l'Europe, a massive iron bridge built right over the Gare Saint-Lazare train yards. And Monet. In 1873, he painted The Railway, showing a woman and child at an iron fence near Gare Saint-Lazare. The train itself? You don't even see it. Just white clouds of steam filling the background, while a little girl stares through the iron bars, transfixed. They were all riding the same trains, seeing the same smeared landscapes through the windows, and then painting that blur like it was the most natural thing in the world.